We are live. This is our third week giving you great, valuable content that you can install into your business right away. So today I want to talk about how you can fire your graphic designer. Now, I love my graphic designers. I used to be a graphic designer. I went to school for graphic design, but the limitation used to be on what you were able to do with the skills you had in terms of if you knew Photoshop, if you knew Adobe Illustrator. But now the limitation is what can you and can you not think of? Your imagination is your limitation. Whatever you can imagine, whatever you can think of, you can literally bring it to life with AI. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the framework I broke down in the business engine last week on how you can make ads, you can make thumbnails, you can make album covers, you can do anything, merch. The possibilities are endless. And if you have a graphic designer, you might not have one after this call. Let's go, let's get into it. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Man, sorry, like I'm late because my connection, it wasn't connected to the internet. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I couldn't get it, but we here. Shout out to Crenshaw, Nipsey Hussle's in rest in peace. So listen, I want to break down a couple things. Like, I can't give you all the sauce because I literally just did this class in the business engine on Friday, but I wanted to, like, I get so many questions on how'd you get your thumbnails like that? Who'd you hire? Can you give me a thumbnail person? So I was like, let me put the class together. And I did word vomit, came up with a class. I literally told word vomit every step that I do to make these thumbnails, to make covers and flyers and ads. And I said, can you create a class? And that's what it did. And I took the class and I put it into my Notion, and Notion gave me a playbook to go through to teach my class. Now, for my YouTube, so this is the thing, right? When you have a paid community, the paid community gets what you can do and how you can do, right? But in a free community like YouTube or social media, the things you post, that's where you really give what you can do. You want to give them the possibility. Now they can go YouTube it and search it and take hours and hours and hours to figure out how to do it, or they can join paid communities that literally give you step by step on how to do it. So it's tricky, but you can get everything. Information is technically free, but implementation and accountability, those things and a proven strategy, those things you got to pay for. So with that being said, we're going to get into the NotionEngine.ai. NotionEngine.ai. That is what I'm going to call the open enrollment for the business engine. I'm giving a free class on January 16th at 7 p.m. It will be taught by one of my business partners, Denise K. She's the one who put me onto Notion. And ever since I've used Notion, everything in my life has changed. I used to think Notion was just this notes app, like a glorified notes app. Boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong because it's the foundation of my whole entire business now. Like, and not just all my businesses. Like, I'm creating this new business now and I'm literally importing everything from this new business into Notion because your brain has a lot to think about, right? And you're thinking about what you got to eat today, what you're going to wear, where you're going to go, how the kid's going to get. Your brain got so much to process. Imagine putting all this stuff into a place and your brain could only think about all this stuff and use all this stuff in your brain, right? Use it to be productive, in what it needs to do. So if I put a class on the graphic design, right? This is Fire Designer. I put all the information into Notion on how to do a graphic flyer All I have to tell it is to make it a flyer using my framework. And it does it. It's that simple. I don't have to think anymore. I don't have to think that this should be here, this should be here, it has the whole entire framework. So that's the power of Notion. That will be January 16th, 7 p.m. Go to notionengine.ai. All right, that's out the way. So let's get into this presentation. The cinematic AI framework. That's the key word for today, cinematic. If you wanted the keyword and you got somewhere to be, that's basically the word. That's probably the word you wasn't using and the word you need to use. Your style, your look should be cinematic. That is going to create a lighting. That is going to put the high contrast. That is going to make it pop out, make the images pop out, make the background look like a looking poster. So you can go now if you really want to go, but I'm gonna break it down a little bit further than that. All right. So what are the 3 biggest bottlenecks that people struggle with, right? They're paying too much for designers. I know we have a designer that is probably really, really the best. He's probably the best, but he's very expensive, right? So you go to him for when you have really, really big campaigns that you're gonna be doing, that's what you use a big designer for. So that's why I say graphic designers need to step up, right? Graphic designers need to use this AI to their advantage and step up, literally step up. You can't you can't wing your way to the top anymore. You gotta be great or you're not gonna get paid. Simple as that. So the great graphic designers are still gonna get money because they're great. But if you ain't great, you ain't gonna get no money out here. Content that doesn't convert. You're making content, but it doesn't convert to sales, leads, phone calls. It doesn't lead to anything. It's just there, right? This is gonna be ended. And wasted time on DIY tools. Going to Canva, trying to do it yourself, and you end up spending 2-3 hours trying to build a flyer, and you don't even build what you want. So the solution is just using a regular chat engine. Now, let me just tell you this, put this for reference. ChatGPT wasn't a good image generator. But somewhere down the line, a couple of weeks ago, Sam Altman was like, code red, red alert, code red, red alert throughout the whole company because Google, they produced Gemini 3.1 or whatever it is, and it had something called Nano Banana, which it was always there, but it was just extremely, extremely better than anything else that anyone's ever seen. And because of that, Sam Altman had a code red alert throughout the whole company saying, we got to get off all our butts, delete everything and rebuild everything up from scratch. And that's what he did. He literally tore his whole entire thing down and built everything up from scratch. Oh, this way. And now he has a pretty competitive image generator. But Gemini still has a good generator too. So you can use either or. I'm gonna tell you this, I like to use both. So I'll use this one with the same prompt and take that same prompt I make and put it into Gemini and see which one gives me a better version. The cool thing is, and this is a hack, sometimes I like both, but I might like this one better than this one. I'll take this one and put the one I don't use and put it in a style folder, and then I could use that later. I could take that if I want to create a style like that one I liked. I didn't use it, but I like the style. I could take it and say, can you make this flyer like this style? And it'll make a new flyer on something totally different with that style. So that is something that is definitely beneficial to you. So little hack. All right, so a standard prompt versus a cinematic keyword prompt, right? Lighting. The cinematic prompt, when you tell it to give it cinematic style, it's going to create a lighting that you could not light yourself. You could not graphic design yourself. Like if you look at the pictures, right? The standard one is very blank, is very bland, but then you put cinematic, that cinematic keyword, it gives a glow around the image. It pops it out. It just looks so stylish. The contrast is really high, and it just gives it a nice polish and makes it look like a movie. And that is the number one secret sauce. If you're not using that now, I would say go use it because it's really, really good. So what is the pack that we're going to be using, right? This is the 7 things you need, right? Write this down if you don't have a pen and paper. And of course, go to YouTube Engine. That site will be changing really soon. It's going to be very simple. Like when I have it next, it's going to be really simple. But go to YouTubeEngine.com and you'll be able to, like this will be up in a matter of an hour. YouTubeEngine.com and you'll be able to download this PDF so you can, if you don't want to, but write it down because I realize when I write things down, I remember it longer because I do. So write it down, but I'll give this to you for a backup as well. All right, so I want you to get three to 5, 3 to 10 clean photos of yourself because that's what you want to use for your image. And you could take, and if it's you, if you're the client and you're doing it for someone else, get 3 to 10 clean photos of that client. Whoever the hero is, whoever is the hero character, the one that's going to be in all the content, get like 3 or 10 clean photos because what you want to do is you can actually put 3 photos in and say, can you take these 3 photos references and create the person doing whatever you want to do. So now it takes the 3 references to learn, to learn the face, right? To learn the design and the look of the face, and it creates its own face. So if you want it to make it exciting, if you want to make it sad, it could do all of it because it knows the different angles of the face. So get like 3 to 10 clean photos and you use that. Another thing is pick a color. A color is very important. Colors are very important and it makes you like, there's colors, there's certain, like they're yellow. There's companies like Yellow, I know that's that brand or whichever, but pick 2 to 3 colors. Mine is purple, black, and white. As you see, I always got purple, So if you see purple, I want that to be, to identify with me and my brand. Style word, cinematic. That is the major key in this. Make sure you click that style word. Compliance, royalty-free images. It might not affect you now, but as you get bigger, it will affect you later. Logos, transparent, no background. It has to be no background, clear, because you might want to put logos on a flyer. Font. When you're saying, like if I'm doing a thumbnail, I'm gonna say put fire graphic design in bold, and then subtitle what your graphic designer doesn't want you to know. Simple as that. So you wanna label the title and label the subtitle. And offerings, price, you wanna have all this information. So the more information you have, it's gonna be easier for you to create this beautiful, beautiful looking flyer. All right? Let's keep it going. Are y'all with me? Put yes in the chat if you're with me. Put yes in the chat if you're with me. Put yes in the chat if you're with me. I'm not gonna go over that. That's that secret sauce. That's secret sauce. A secret sauce. All right, so I'm gonna give this to y'all. Block 1. You got to tell the AI who you are, who you want it to be, right? So if you want it to be a graphic designer, tell AI you want to be a graphic designer. They do have buttons now. They have like image or telling it what it wants to do, telling it what it is you want it to do. But if it doesn't, if it does, tell it you want it to be a graphic designer. If you want it to be a video producer or a writer, tell it what you want it to do. Output size is very important. Tell it what size you want, 1920 by 1080. It's a pixel size. It's not a foot size or inches size, it's pixel size. So tell it 19 by 20, these are all the sizes. You can write those down. And then your brand ID, you're gonna create a brand DNA kit. That's gonna be where you created your whole entire style. Like, remember I told you about the flyer that you could kind of like put in so it could design it like that? That's like a brand DNA. So when you create your brand DNA, you don't have to keep saying how you want the flyer to look. Literally just at brand DNA when you install it. That's for the business and the people how they know how to do that. But now you can go search that, and that's what you can do. Block 4, creative direction. That is going to be how you want it to look, cinematic, lighting, high contrast, premium feel. Block 5 is exact text. Like I said, title, subtitle, right? Block 6, constraints, quality control. You're gonna wanna make sure it's readable. If you're doing something for apparel, it's very important. You say, make this design printable. Make this design printable. I'm gonna say that one more time. Write it down. When you're doing something for apparel, you must say, make this design printable. Matter of fact, if you're doing anything that needs to be printed, you gotta say, make this design printable. Very important. In block 7, which is cool, you can say, give me 3 different variants. So I usually say modern, elegant, and simple. Those are my 3. You can use whatever you 3. I got a few here, but depending on what you're making it for, you want to see, kind of get an idea, that is what you're going to do. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a photo of yourself, and I want literally just any photo. I want you to go into ChatGPT or Gemini. I want you to put the photo there, and this is the simplest prompt. Can you turn this image into a cinematic look using cinematic lighting? That's it. And I want you to see what it looks like. That's it. That's your homework for today. I want you to see what it looks like, and it's gonna look something like that. It's gonna look super fire, super fire. Then you can add tags. You can do a couple things. And there's this thing that's called hallucination, which happens sometimes. And what you need to know is that when it hallucinates, that means start over. There's some hacks and things that I could break down, but I gotta be fair to the business engine people. They pay good money to be in there. I can't give everything, but I'm telling you the things that you could do. Now you can search in how to get through it, right? But you can go to the business engine and go straight to it. But it's up to you. But let me see, I might have it in here. This is the merch. You can put merch on, and then you can make merch mockups, right? This is pretty cool too, to make merch mockups. So for your website, you don't have the product yet, you can create the product with using ChatGPT, right? Literally, if you have your logo, say the logo was your 3D is your logo. Can you put this 3D logo on a cinematic, have it look cinematic, and put it on a hoodie and make it look facing like it was floating in the air, whatever, right? It's gonna make something like that. That's dope to put on your website. But now, depending on the feel of your brand, you make it align with your brand. Always make the designs align with your brand. It's very important to do that. Hope you got it. Hope you got it. All right, so this is a checklist. I just want to break this down real quick. The size, right? Make sure the size is correct. I don't want you posting on a platform and it's showing black lines somewhere or cut off or the head's cut off. So make sure the size is correct. You can easily Google what sizes are for Instagram, TikTok, all that. You can get all the different sizes. And those are those pixel ratios, those is what you're gonna use when you're importing it into ChatGPT. So when you say 1920 by 1080, that is like why you can use that as a thumbnail. So make sure that is. Text is readable on mobile screens, very important. You wanna make sure it's readable on mobile screens, all right? You gotta make sure it's readable on mobile screens. No typos. AI does misspell. Believe it or not, AI does misspell, so no typos. So read over it. Ask ChatGPT, is everything spelled right? Another one is format is PNG. PNG is a higher quality than JPEG in my liking. Like I know that compression is better with PNG, so I use PNG. Color and style match your brand DNA. And logo is properly placed, not stretched. ChatGPT has AI has a thing on, like, they like to stretch your face and your logo. Make sure your face or your logo is not stretched. And using just this, what I gave you today, this should be a good foundation to start with on firing your graphic designer. Like there's no, I would say use my graphic designer. I will use my graphic designer when I have something big, right? But my everyday thing, we're making content every single day. And, you know, our graphic designer charges $10 per thumbnail. That's $300 a month. That is $300 I just erased from our budget because we don't need to pay a graphic designer $10 per thumbnail. When I can make it in 2 minutes, it looks better than his, right? And it's $20 a month, right? And not only am I paying $20 a month for just the thumbnails, I got the ads, I got this, I got that, I got merch, I got so many different possibilities. Like I said, AI is great, but the only limitation you have right now is your creativity, your mind. That is the biggest thing with AI. I literally thought of a website. Like if you go to notionengine.ai, I'm gonna break this down in the business engine. I might break it down, not this week because we have Notion, but the week after, I'm gonna break that down how I built that site. I envisioned that site. I literally envisioned that site and I made it with AI. I didn't use one bit of code to make notionengine.ai. I literally made it with AI. But the thing was, I envisioned it, right? I had the imagination to create, and it's not a really complex site. The thing is, no one was offering a very simplistic site that I could build really simple and have total control of it. And that's the thing, you can literally change whatever you want, any button, any word, anything. And that's, if you notice, you're gonna notice something. Every site is gonna look very similar to this site because I love this design. It's very simple. It's to the point. I think all those funnels, this is a funnel too, because it's gonna funnel to, it's gonna do everything. It's yo, guys, 2 weeks, y'all got a nice class. And just imagine what I know now, how much I'm you know me, I'm always pouring into myself. Yeah, Conrad, I see you in the chat, baby. Yo, this is like, it's over. It's over, game changer. So, like I said, your limitation is your imagination. I would say get as much exposure to as many different technologies, different art, different way people work, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna expand your imagination. So that's what you need to do. You need to expand your imagination. And the only way to do that is exposure. So I would say get as much exposure as you possibly humanly can, because that exposure is going to expand your creativity. And if you expand your creativity, you can expand your productivity. All right? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm going to be trying a new style this week. I just don't know which day. It's new style. Like I've never done this ever in my life. So I have to make sure it's perfect. So pray for me, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it.